I want to listen. You know what's interesting to me is that I've jumped on this alternative energy bandwagon mainly because I'm trying to date a girl that's in that business. But other than that,
hey, everybody.
But I looked at this AB 32 in the state of California.
Right.
Now you can be global warming agnostic. In other words, I don't believe in global warming. I think that ice just melts. Personally.
It happens.
Right.
It's happened.
It happened
before.
Doesn't matter though. If the government says, look, we want to reduce greenhouse gases or we want to do something to put more electric vehicles on the road.
Right.
I don't care because there's an investment opportunity there because there's going to be businesses that pop up to fulfill that mandate.
Right.
It's automatic business. Mandate's the best thing that can happen.
Things happen.
So one company that we found here was OriginOil. Their stock symbol OOIL. I want you to go to their website, originoil.com. Riggs Eckelberry is the CEO. He's been on with us for a little while here, and he's turned into a favorite with the listeners just because he's one of the guys that actually has a personality and can talk about his company.
Yeah.
Riggs in studio with us today. What's up, buddy?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be with you both.
Good to have you.
Really? I'm saying really, both of them.
We're excited to have your brother in studio today too, which we're gonna talk to him in just a few minutes here. But I want to talk just briefly because we picked up a couple new radio affiliates. We picked up a new affiliate in Boston. We picked up a new affiliate in Miami. Tell your story really quickly. Sort of recap what you guys do for folks that haven't heard your story yet.
Very simple. We have a technology, electro-water separation. It takes minute amounts of contaminants out of huge amounts of water.
Okay.
We started with algae, which, your swimming pool looks like that.
I know.
How do you get
Russ's
the stuff
does.
out?
I can
don't
tell you that.
leave me out of this conversation. Go ahead.
How do you get? I'm just using you as a for instance.
Thanks.
Thank you. So, no accusations on TV.
So you take crappy stuff out of water.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're very efficient at it. No chemicals. Very low energy.
Really?
And so we started to do this for frac water. We started to do this for fish farm water, which is very toxic to
Oh,
the fish.
God, yes.
And also our process kills the bacteria and the viruses that, for example, the fish die of. And
Right.
so people can maybe use less antibiotics when they grow the fish.
So the fish are drinking in better water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute, though.
They're healthier
but,
fish.
But I do want to talk about this. I
Ew.
want to talk about the fact of what algae does to CO2, though. This is a clean energy play.
Step one, of course, when you grow algae, 2 pounds of CO2 turns into 1 pound of algae and 1 pound of oxygen.
Okay, good. See,
Which
what
is
a
good
science
for
class?
Really?
Russ is now throwing spitballs in the back and not paying attention again. Okay, so and that's sort of the genesis of how your kind of process works here, is that you're taking this model of algae and you're doing what with it now?
Okay, so we learned, when we first started, we were going to do everything in algae. Turned out that that's a big job.
Yeah.
And we found out that what we're really good at and what my brother invented was this way of separating out the algae from the water. And that's actually the biggest problem, because if you can't do that, you're going to spend more energy boiling the algae out or whatever, drying it out.
Right.
And you got to somehow get it out so you can extract the energy and use it for crude, because petroleum is nothing but old algae.
So your brother invented a
Did you
really
know that?
small screen.
I thought
It's electrical.
really
Okay.
so petroleum's nothing but old algae?
100 million years ago,
I thought it
algae
was
grew.
dinosaur poop.
Dinosaur
or something
farts,
like that,
didn't
There
right?
are
they?
not
That's
enough
why they-
dinosaurs to keep your SUV going.
Okay, all right.
Oh, really?
All right, that's
Huh.
I had no idea that happened.
See?
The the I guess the interesting part of this thing also is that you have taken this sort of, I'm going to call it a technology, right?
It's a process, yeah.
It's a process, and you've been able to successfully test it out to where you are doing a number of things. You're not just cleaning water, you're extracting at the same time.
Exactly.
And
Sometimes-
that's a big deal.
And the stuff is either valuable or poisonous or both. For example, petroleum.
Boy, that's like your ex-wife.
That's right. Valuable and poisonous. Thanks for bringing that up.
One more day, it would have been over.
One more day.
So, for example, petroleum, it comes out of, right now the petroleum industry is more a water handling industry because they inject huge amounts of water.
Right.
Let's stop on that for a second. Do they inject water in there to get the oil out? Is that sort of the idea?
There's two things they do. The things that's called produced water is what they inject to flood the petroleum out. Then they do fracking, where they jam it under high pressure to open up the shale.
Okay.
Okay.
And those work
Either way, you
alongside
got
each
dirty
other.
water at the end of the day.
Bingo. And it's got valuable petroleum in it, which needs to be extracted.
So it's almost like mining tailings a bit.
Yeah,
So
that
you've got this water here that if you can separate the oil from the water from the algae, you can.
Forget the algae.
Okay.
When we're in petroleum, the algae went away.
Okay, I got
We're
you.
just using, because our technology, as Nicholas will tell you, I'm sure,
Yeah.
uses electrical pulses to essentially coax the organics into clumps. It's called electrocoagulation.
Got it.
It's just like your blood clotting, right?
Right, that's
okay,
like-
but it does it electrically, and it does it fast. And so we can get the algae to clump, we can get the oil to clump, we can get the ammonia out all that good stuff.
The any CEO that can use the word clump and
Clumping.
and boy, I tell you,
That's so good. I thought there was a German
Or-
dance with wooden shoes.
Origin Oil is the name of the company. OOIL. Now the market size on this thing is what's really attractive here. Not just and also there's a licensing side of things, and I want to talk to you about it real quickly. You're not selling systems; you're licensing technology here.
Yeah, each of these industries is a $100 billion industry. You know, obviously energy,
Right.
Sure.
the cleaning up the frac water, et cetera, the aquaculture industry, et cetera. But we can't go into all those industries at once.
Right.
So we choose to license into those industries so that somebody can pick up our technology, and they've already got their sales channels, their manufacturing, and they run with it.
The other issue too is we'll talk to when we get Nicholas on with us here, who's by the way the co-founder and chief inventor here. I want to talk to you about kind of the turnkey approach you guys are doing. This is sort of do you guys call this cleanup in a box? I mean, what is there a brand name to this thing that you drag over to the oil well?
Well, we're moving away from the cute branding because
Oh, come on, name it something.
It's better for people like us if you can name it
it's a
something.
sexy term like electro-water separation.
Yes,
Yeah.
damn it, right?
There we go.
Okay, electro-water separation, which is
EWS,
Yeah.
ooze.
we're a band in the
That might
80s.
be.
if I'm not
Clumping,
mistaken.
the clump.
I want
the
to talk.
clumper.
I want to talk. So I do want to talk about. Sort of this sort of the market size a little bit more. Also want to talk to the inventor of this.
Yeah.
Of this.
And it's your brother, huh?
He is my brother.
Wow. Was he weird as a kid? Did he used to mix a lot of stuff in the garage?
He ain't heavy.
Huh? It's like, what the hell is Nicholas doing now?
Was there a lot of going on in your garage?
Nicholas, are you okay?
Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com. Origin Oil is in the house. Electro water separation and some clumping to boot. OOIL is their stock symbol. Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com. Stand by.
Separation. You brought it up again. Thanks.
I'm talking to Riggs Eckelberry. He is the CEO of Origin Oil, their stock symbol OOIL. OriginOil.com is their website. And then Nick Eckelberry is the co-founder and chief inventor. First of all, good to have both of you guys in here. Riggs, before I get to Nick, I just have to, I want to clarify one thing about the licensing model. At one point, you folks were sort of a drop-off container turnkey. Are you moving away from that? Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, there's two phases.
Okay.
In each industry we go into, each market, we have to prove how it works.
Okay.
And so we'll scale up to a certain level, and these are turnkey machines. This is where we provide the complete solution.
Okay.
And this gets the OEMs, as we call them, the original equipment manufacturers.
Okay.
These are people in the market going, oh, it works.
Okay.
So we got to make sure it works, and then we transition to it being integrated into theirs, powered by Origin Oil.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you bring the Dolby analogy up. Talk about that again, because I think
Yeah.
because that seems to come through, and I'm getting an email right now. Paul Chunick writes us here from Atlanta, Georgia. Case CEO. Has the licensing deal been proven? In other words, and I think you answered the question. The Dolby licensing deal kind of shows exactly what you guys are doing.
Well, Ray Dolby started in 1963, and he could have built the perfect Dolby
Stereo.
receiver
Right.
or stereo, but he didn't. So instead of having 2% market share of the best,
He said, "I'm going to say everybody, hey, you guys can all put this in your receivers."
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you're doing. So, who is the final customer on this deal for you?
the final customer depends on the market. But for example, in the fracking industry, it's the service companies
Okay.
and the operators of these wells. It's also equipment manufacturers who might have. Let's take fracking, for example.
Okay.
They have to get this water to a certain standard, either to put it back down the well or maybe into the drinking water supply. So they have the later stages down, reverse osmosis,
Right,
et cetera.
sure.
But what they need is a first stage
Yeah.
that gets most of the fouling out so they don't overwork their
Do
membrane.
you give them yet another arrow in their quiver? Like by showing up, do you say, look, you're competing with these other fracking operators, and you use our service here. This makes you one step better than the next guy.
Well, yes, and also it makes them real time. Our process is
Yeah.
continuous.
Yeah.
So instead of having these huge settling tanks, now they can feed the stuff that's gushing out of the well straight into our system, and then we clean out 99+%
Right.
of the organics. Goes to their system without fouling. They can operate quickly at less cost.
In fact, and we're watching for our TV audience. They can see some of the video that's on here. If you go to OriginOil.com, you can see some of this. You can see it at BigBizShow.com too. Nick Eckelberry, co-founder, chief inventor, and of course, chief Back to the Future officer for the company. How did you? I got to ask you, how did you start? I mean, what came up in your mind and you said, okay, I'm going to do this? What was the genesis of this thing?
I think the genesis for me was maybe 20, 25 years ago, and I had a pile of cash from some real estate deal. and I was going to buy real estate, which I should have done actually. But I decided that I was going to lay the foundations for my future.
Russ is picking his pocket. Okay.
I'm going to lay the foundation for my future, which is what I saw as the impending doom of our civilization: lack of water, dirty water, problems with water.
So this was a morality issue for you to start off with.
It was a morality issue, and it was an issue of something that would interest me and that would give me passion in life.
Right. So tell me, how did you connect the dots with algae? How did you connect the dots from going from there to say, I'm doing this algae play?
Well, the algae play came in through my original patent work, which was done in what's called micronization or micron bubble production, which is mixing fluids at this micron level, breaking up fluids. And then we got involved in a biotech company, or I got involved in a biotech company.
Right.
And then this led to some knowledge of algae, and we applied the knowledge I had at the time with water to first building algae systems. Realized that the problem with algae was not growing it, because it grows naturally. The problem with it is getting it out of the water.
So here's my question for you. So when I see guys like you that are the smartest guy in the room, and I always think you know something that nobody else knows. This has got to be the tip of the spear for you. This doesn't end here, does this? There's bigger and better. There's bigger products and bigger licensing and bigger technologies as a result of this, isn't there?
I think it's really important that to understand that all companies should evolve, and all companies should self-analyze themselves. A company gets stifled by its own creativity when they decide that they're not going to progress anymore. So we have been, my brother Riggs has been very, very instrumental and able to see the future, that we had to constantly reinvent ourselves. So in a year, who knows where we'll be.
As far as technology goes, though, is the technology? Yeah, Russ, you.
Actually, this is the water that he just cleaned for me, and I'll sample it right here.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Just a hint of algae. You keep working on it, big boy, but not bad.
Thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. Of course, the name of the company, OriginOil, OOIL is their stock symbol, OriginOil.com. Is the process done? Are you done baking this cake, or is there a constant tweaking process that goes on with this?
I think at this point it's done, basically. Mm-hmm. Now, what we specialize in is customization. As I told Riggs, if we can get the algae out of water, and we can get the hardest thing in the world to get out of water, which is ammonia, which we proved last week in our farm demonstration. We showed that we could get ammonia out. Now, ammonia is so hard to get out of water. It takes hours and hours and weeks and weeks.
Why ammonia? I would think oil would be harder to get out of.
No. Ammonia is so hard. It's basically, if you look at the composition of air, which is nitrogen, 76% nitrogen, and try cleaving air, try breaking air.
Yeah,
it takes an enormous amount of energy.
I can break air over here. I'm breaking a little wind right. Oh, my
Good
bad.
point. Good point. But you know what actually takes to break air is lightning.
No
Literally
kidding.
lightning. That's how we get our nitrates in our soil, is from lightning striking the air, breaking the nitrogen molecules, and it falls down to the ground. And that's how we grow stuff.
Wow.
So to break it in water is even a more complex operation. And it takes, and people have been working at this, and we were just at a farm. It takes them 3 to 6 weeks to get ammonia out of the water.
How fast did you guys do it in your last test?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Is that okay? Let me ask you: is that another product coming out because of that? Or
This is the most exciting product I've ever developed in my life. It's really a crowning achievement for me. I didn't think I could do it.
Oh, you can do anything, big boy.
No.
Can you turn this into scotch? How many molecules would you have to alter
I
to
certainly
turn my
can.
water into scotch?
I certainly can.
It's called a still, if
Exactly.
I'm not mistaken, Russ. They turn water into scotch every day. That wouldn't be anything new. Well, listen. First of all, Nick, I want to have you back in with us and I think both of you guys could do your own television program on science, because it's fascinating. The best part about this, though, is that you guys are changing the world. One oil rig at a time and one fracking operator at a time.
Thank you.
Stock symbol is OOIL. Of course, OriginOil.com is the website, and you can look for this interview on their website as well as our website. And guys, thanks so much for coming in again. Good stuff. We'll have you back again next week, and I think you're going to hear more about this company.